Hi, friends. I'm Cheryl. I don't get nervous doing videos very often, but as I wrote this email to someone this morning and then got the message that I needed to record about this topic, I did feel some nerves. So I have it written so that I can articulate it the way that I really feel it needs to be said. So rather than just speaking, I'm going to read this to you. If you have or are feeling like you're not sure about living this life, I understand how things feel for you. We experience a lot of emotions when we're going through that. And I want to tell you a little bit about some of what I felt and learned, because someone needs to hear this today. It was 4 years ago, this coming Sunday, that I tried to take my life. I'm grateful that I heard the voice of God and stopped. First, if you wanted to try but didn't, or you didn't go through with it, you are not a failure. Never a failure. That was one of the things that I felt like somehow it was one more thing that I failed at. This journey of healing is challenging. Life is challenging. I was angry at the time that I made that decision. Angry about having to go on. I felt guilty. I felt guilty that I had thought about it and I tried. I felt guilty that I even thought about it. I felt ungrateful for all of the things in my life that seemed so good and were so good. But I was so broken, I could not appreciate them. I could not understand why a loving God would want me to continue in such pain. But I also felt grateful. Grateful but kind of this misery at what could the future possibly hold. It was almost like accepting martyrdom. Like, okay, I'll live in this pain for the rest of my life. In those days, it was hard to see how I could focus on me and be happy. The idea of focusing on me made me feel sick. I didn't know me. I didn't think there was any reason that I should try to know this person that others had not got to know. If no one else really cared, why should I? Now, I had people in my life that loved me. My family, my children, my grandson, friends. But I was no one's top priority. And I never had been. And now I know that that's because I was never my own top priority. Think about that for a minute. Are you your own top priority? At the time, I didn't see that. When I stepped away from the edge, I knew that I just needed to take my next breath. And then the one after that. I didn't have to have a plan. I didn't have to know the future. I didn't even have to know an hour into the future. I simply had to keep breathing. And in the beginning, that's really all I could focus on. I did learn, being in the hospital, that it was important to have a safety plan. And that safety plan establishes someone you can reach out to who will be there for you, and many other things. Because they're drawing a blank right now. What can you do? What's going to make you feel differently? What's going to shift you? What is possibly causing you to trigger into that place? These are important things to have in your safety plan. In the last 4 years, I have learned to love me. It was hard sometimes. I had to look at a lot of things that had hurt me and see my part in it. And my part wasn't things that I'd done to deserve it. Let me repeat that. It's not things that you do that make you deserve to be miserable or feel those feelings. It was the things that I did to survive it. The events that were too painful that I changed in my mind to make them easier to cope with. Even healing these things would bring feelings of not being strong enough to the surface. Why hadn't I been stronger? But I finally got to the point in my healing where it was more important to own the truth in my life and of my life than it was to just survive my life. Because then I wasn't trapped anymore. I made a video a couple of weeks ago talking about how grateful I am for that time. And I am grateful. I'm grateful for getting to that point that was my rock bottom. And this morning I was just called to share about the emotions that I experienced going through it. And I just kept hearing, there's someone out there, Cheryl, that needs to hear this message today. So I hope this helps. I'm sending you so much love and light.